Oh, we lost one.
Man, it's rough.
It is a rough life. Ooh, there we go. Now people are coming
Another one
in.
bites the dust, eh?
Johnny, Cheryl, Flat, Uncle. How's everyone doing? Ooh, it's getting a little dark out.
So funny. Flat. Flat.
Flat.
That was one of those make me open my mouth all the way laughs. It's really funny.
Jamie McDonald, Director Jamie, says, how many guppies can I put in a 125-gallon tank? Probably about 500.
A lot.
Thousands.
Jesus, so many.
I don't think that's a real question, though.
Thousands.
Welcome, Jamie. It's been a minute. Good to see you, my friend.
Hello.
The longest member of the channel.
And one of the first to arrive today.
Last time I checked.
Yeah, I think that I remember you saying that.
Mess, hello. Davo, hello. Regina, Phalanges. Mike Crapbag here.
What up, y'all? What did you just say?
Mike Crapbag. Remember?
No.
Regina Phalanges.
Oh, yeah. No, okay, yes, yes.
Friends.
Yes.
Any of this ringing a bell?
God dang it. I walked right into that one.
Mm-hmm. As always, we'll give it a few minutes before we start. Let people roll on in. 2 schools, 1 swing.
2 skulls, 1 swing.
Oh, 2 skulls. 2 skulls. Well, that's not any different.
What up, what up?
No pizza party here.
Pete the party?
You're at the wrong party.
Yeah, it's going to be a chicken party. That's what it's going to be. That is what it is going to be tonight.
Unskippable commercials. I object. So do I. How'd that even happen? That should not even be a thing. Let me double check here. Yeah, non-skippable commercials are not selected. I apologize. I don't know what that's about.
Ew. Gross.
Yeah, that's disgusting. I hate non-skippable.
That is disgusting.
But thanks for the 0.3 pennies for watching it.
Yeah.
Your hair looks nice. Oh, thanks, Johnny. I agree.
It always does.
Mm-hmm.
He's perfect.
So anyways.
What's up, guys?
2 schools, 1 swing.
Skulls.
1 swing says 2 skulls.
Second time.
It's because there's 2 schoolie for
No,
coolie.
I got to end schools. I mean,
says, I'm a newbie. Well, you're in the right place. If
up?
you've got questions, we've got answers, hopefully.
Ask some questions.
Between us and chat and the internet.
All the people.
We can find answers pretty quick around here.
Word.
If I don't know, I'll call someone.
Phone a friend. Phone a friend.
We should do phone a friend.
But see, the problem is I'm everyone's phone a friend, so I feel like we'd have to call me. Call me.
Why would I call you? You're sitting right next to me.
Call me, because that's the only way you phone a friend. You cannot talk to me directly if you're phoning a friend.
Call me.
Oh God.
Call me.
That's a
now
good one.
That's gonna be in your head all night.
Yeah, it is. No, my head is occupied by other music. Hello, everybody.
It's been too long. This job thing is a hassle. I know. I got to do this every week.
A farce.
Ugh. Oh, you mean your job? I get it.
Well.
Ben Sharp, what's up? Says happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, indeed.
TGIM. I know we're in the first 30 minutes, but I have a dog question. What do you guys give your pups to keep their teeth clean? Rope toys.
So that, and
it's
I
like
think
floss.
Different types of it's funny because much like people, I think dogs have varying degrees of, like, some dogs just have better teeth, and the Doberman has the most gorgeous, not that there's problems with the other two's teeth, but like the Doberman's teeth, I make comments because they're so beautiful. Like, plus he's black, so his teeth, like, they look gorgeous because he has dark brown and black, and so his teeth always look so gorgeous. I'm like, you are just an attractive boy. He's so pretty.
He's snoozing.
He is. They're all snoozing, ironically. Now we've said that, and they're going to wake up.
But I find that rope toys work like flossing, especially when you get 2 of them going and they're just pulling the rope on each other.
But I did use, just in case this is helpful, because it can never hurt. My pit bull, I used a large toothbrush that they sold at a pet store. It was cheap, and then I had peanut butter flavored all natural toothpaste, and it just was something to, like, help any crap that got stuck, like from his food or whatever. Worked.
Flatbed and Cowboy 1, I think that's the name, says, I'm not a newbie, but first time I've gotten to watch live. I'm one of the weirdos that listen to the
You're
replay.
one of those.
Well, awesome. Thank you.
Just kidding. Hi.
We have just as many people watch the replay,
Yeah,
if not more,
lot of
than
people that do that.
live.
This is true.
So
I was
very,
surprised.
very important.
But thank you.
The replay crew.
Yep. Yeah, my dog didn't love it, but he wasn't like, oh my God, get away
So
from
far,
me.
I've been fortunate enough to not have to brush teeth, although we might get there soon.
Yeah, I think that, well, I didn't really have to worry about his teeth until he was older. Because generally that's when you start to have problems.
Good quality food makes a big difference, too.
Yes, hygiene and quality of food makes a difference.
My husky, they never believed how old she was because of how perfect her teeth were. They're like, there's no way this is a 10-year-old dog. This is like 3 years. Pundamilia Nayuri experience. Absolutely. I think there might even be a video on my channel of some Pundamilia. So they're a Victorian cichlid, which means the dominant male is going to be the most colorful male, and that means there's also going to be lots of aggression. So the more the merrier. Just know, this is the problem I have with Victorians, is it's usually the dominant male that's colorful and everyone else is just kind of drab. So you could have 30 fish and only one of them is going to be colored up, which is kind of annoying. But still very, very beautiful fish. Johnny Best with the $2 super chat. So I don't know what I was going to say, but thanks.
Thank you.
I don't know where I was going with the so.
It was the parlay.
It's my first day. Calm down.
It's the parlay. Thank you.
In case you missed the banger member stream.
It was a banger, wasn't
Yeah.
it? It was really crazy.
There was some dog talk there, too.
There was.
Mm-hmm.
There's always some interesting stuff going on there. Interesting stuff.
Also, be sure to check out the links. Fish Fam Link is linking some Dan's Fish links on here. Clicking those affiliate links really helps us out. It helps you out, as there's some discounts usually involved there, and it helps us out at no additional cost to you. So click those links. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
I have a King German Shepherd. He weighs 125 pounds. I agree. Rope toys for teeth.
There you go. There you have it, folks.
Nancy B in Tennessee, member for 20 months. Thank you so much. Fish-related question. I'm going on my first collecting trip next month. What should I bring? Nets, boots, buckets. Basically,
specimen containers, so in case you want to look at anything closer, that's always a good thing to have.
Mm-hmm. Any of the specimen containers, anything clear.
Yeah, small, clear. And when I say specimen containers, not like you have to go buy it. Just bring something that you can isolate and hold and see clearly into, I guess.
And I don't know what your weather is like, but don't forget to hydrate.
Where are you going? I just out of curiosity, are you traveling or are you doing it locally?
And give me some shiners while you're at
and
it.
toss
And darters.
some shiners in a bucket for us and send them over here
And some
while
darters.
you're at it.
Take some darters.
Thanks.
Any crayfish.
Thanks. That'd be great. Take a few of
Bug
those.
spray and sunscreen.
For some reason, bugs generally don't like to bite me. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm RH negative. Who knows? Maybe that's why. They don't like me. They don't care for my brand.
Bob, those eagles, vicious. Yes.
They were pissed. And
Yeah.
I missed it.
For anyone who doesn't know, we have a pair of bald eagles that are about 50 feet from our home here. And an intruder showed up and tried to take over their territory.
It was
And they were doing some pretty serious battle for a while until
Now-
I finally walked up hoping it would scare them apart. They were locked on for a long
The
time.
thing is, and I don't know if people appreciate this, and if you haven't seen one, I've been up close to an eagle a couple times, plus living this close to them. They're friggin' huge. Like, they're huge. They're probably 3 feet tall standing up, and their wings are like 8 feet. Like, they're giant. So I'm really pissed that I missed them rumbling around on the ground, like, because I could only imagine how crazy that looks.
Nancy says, can't collect in Tennessee, so our club is tagging along with a club in Kentucky
Oh, okay.
to go
Cool.
collecting there. Oh, yeah, definitely those darters.
Yeah.
Darters.
Find all kinds of cool stuff, I feel like. That's exciting. Congratulations. Yeah, I don't think you would need a terrible, like, if you got a fanny pack, I'd say bring a fanny pack. I don't know why, but I feel like it's much easier to get in and out of a fanny pack. Interesting suggestion, but yet one I feel like might come in handy.
Curtis, hello, hello.
Hello. Ow, jeez.
Oh, Leo's back.
Back in business.
Welcome back.
Mm-hmm. Hello, sir.
I have plenty of shiners, hoping for darters. Well, I have neither.
Well, I hope you find both, just so you can have more shiners and darters, which are both cool. I mean, like, I would take either no matter what, just because I love them both. But I hope you do find darters, since you don't have those.
Matt says, what's your guys' experience with West African killies? So I've heard they can do well with some West African cichlids, like Pelvicochromis. I mean, some of the lamp eyes, some of the larger lamp eyes, I don't know if that I would keep Normans with Pelvicochromis.
I have.
If they're not spawning, or if you want to keep something as small as like a Norman's, I would make sure you have a big tank. So I wouldn't do like Norman's killifish and like a 20 long.
No. I did a 40 breeder, and I was heavily planted, and I had a lot of food. They got fed heavily, so no one was ever really after anybody. But yeah, I kept Norman's lamp eyes with Pelvicochromis, and I didn't have issues. But then again, they were constantly rearing fry, so they were probably more concerned with taking care of their babies and trying to eat the killies, honestly. So it can be done. I did it for years, so it can be done.
Yep. Just don't do it, like I said,
Yeah.
in anything 20 or
No,
smaller.
if you did it in that small, they're going to get eaten. Like, I could see that.
They're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, it would not work out. But 40, it was fine. And I'd say, like, if you had a 75, perfect. Like, I think they'd be great in there. I don't think there'd ever be an issue because they have so much swimming space up top. 40s are even a little low, but I just, like I said, I had success with it. But who knows? It can be different in every situation, though. I have to say that because if it worked for me, it may not work for you, and I'd feel bad if all your Normans got eaten because they're so cool.
Johnny says, did you record the eagles rumble in the backyard? Yes, I uploaded a quick short, which is on my channel.
They're so majestic, even as they beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah, it was. They did not want to unlock their talons, but I eventually got close enough to where they had to run or fly, I guess.
Yeah, it was
So they finally gave
up.
Go
far though. It kind of ours, the one that like lives here, I think just went back to They have a nest. They live there.
And Curtis with the $1 super chat.
Bump.
Thank you so much, buddy. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh, that's done for. That is done.
This is our full-time job, so all super chats are appreciated. They help out a lot, and I hate that sales pitch, but
it is what it is.
I guess
I hate when people say that too.
I know.
There's nothing worse.
That is literally the first time I've ever did a sales pitch for super chats, and I already feel gross.
In your life, gotta wash it off. Gotta go burn it off of you. Whatever. This whole like weekend, I was watching videos of people just like being shameless and asking for, and I was like, my God, like what is this? Like I would be so embarrassed, like just mortified.
Master Photographer says, what are the elongated red-orange fish in your other background video?
Jingu 1 pikes. They're pike cichlids.
Yes, but they don't stay that color as they grow. They'll actually turn a deep red.
They're beautiful.
The males will turn like a really deep red.
They're really pretty.
But they lose the orange.
Mm-hmm. I think people are really into that bright orange, but I think they almost look prettier when they get like that, like a brown, red, black. They're just really pretty also when they get older.
What is your Steenfott? If you use all-in-one, I use Easy Green. Mm-hmm. What is the best brand if you do have one?
Easy Green.
So Easy Green, and there's a lot of discussion on this topic lately because everyone's coming out with their own branded, fertilizer. It seems like, but the thing you want to pay attention to is like the co-op is more concentrated. So a lot of people are like, oh, you get a bigger bottle here. Well, you're actually getting less in the bigger bottles because it's watered down. So that's one thing to keep an eye out. The other thing is like a lot of people advertise, oh, this one's shrimp safe. They're all shrimp safe. Like, let's be real.
I love that. Yeah.
Unless there's like
stupid amounts of copper, like crazy high amounts of copper that would like, even then though.
Which you don't find.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny because you'll find like companies that they'll have like, here's our fertilizer and here's our shrimp safe fertilizer. Which is just the same thing, but we're branding it shrimp safe.
Oh man.
There's there's 0.1% less copper in this shrimp safe one. when there's already less than like a gram in the whole bottle. Like, who cares? So
Run clean.
I don't know. Easy Green is tried and true. There's thousands and thousands of 5-star reviews, and I'm not trying to do a sales pitch for them.
No, it just works. If it works, it works. If it's good, it's good, and it's better. It's good. You should use it. Matt, thank you so much. That's very nice of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna thumbs up.
Thank you,
I'm
buddy.
gonna thumbs up all these.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah.
Oh, I can't thumbs up Curtis's.
Curtis, we're thumbs upping it mentally, just so you know. Johnny, everybody thumbs up. Thank you very much. And yeah, it is funny because eagles do have those little pussy voices, and other birds that are much smaller sound much more serious. But eagles do not.
You can't say that.
I just did.
Well,
you heard it here first,
I tried.
brother.
Our super chat's still going to Mama Zenny. No, that was just a one-time thing, but we did raise a few $100 for her.
Which hopefully is going towards that fund for
seahorse.
Her. Yeah, her seahorse fund, which I thought was the most magical fund I've ever heard of. So I love that. Oh, there. I forgot about Francis. It's funny. Yeah, and that was. I'm so glad.
I forgot. This is why I don't use this background video.
It's kind of nostalgic. I don't know. I'm not mad. Like, I'm not mad. That's funny. It is very appreciated, guys. Thanks.
So what we were intending to do with like the Zenny giveaway, and it gets ruined, like most things gets ruined, is like my idea was to like once a month during a live stream, just do a donation for someone in the community. But like everything, I got hounded by beggars, and people are like, "Can you do it for me?" And it's just like,
it just becomes a thing.
It got too much, and I was like, "Screw it, I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it anymore."
Just like anything, things get ruined because of stuff like that, and it's unfortunate. But what are you gonna do? And yes, crows will pester eagles because as those eagles flew off today, a group of crows pestered them.
A murder of crows.
Yes, a murder of crows pestered them. Well, they might have been ravens. I can't say either way, but. They don't give one hoot, ironically.
Ben Sharp says, I've used several of the all-in-one ferts. I've had the best results and consistency with the co-op.
It just works, and that's my thing is it's not a sales pitch. It's like, hey, you're asking us what we use. This is what we use, and this is why we use it. So it is what it is. It's good stuff.
Surf City Cichlids. Hello there, Steenfott.
What up?
To all you fine fish people.
Yes, we do keep our red-eye puffers with other species aquatic moose. She is I've kept actually many males and females with other species, and I have never had one single issue. They don't care. They're very chill puffers. Very chill.
Fish Hunter says, went to the lake today and made a resurrection jar.
Oh, that's cool.
Interested and excited to watch it come alive. That's
very cool.
Those have always interested me. I've never done one,
nice. But I like it. I like that. Good for you. That's interesting. Interesting to hear.
That's really cool.
The LFS I went to last Friday had a 240 display tank with the biggest Denison barbs I've ever seen. Had to be 6 plus. Yeah.
They get really thick. In
thick.
True like barb fashion.
Like rotund.
Or in bob fashion. Once they start stop growing tall, they start growing wide.
Oh my God. Would you stop it? They're so pretty though. I really like. They're always impressive looking fish.
They get really chunky though after they stop growing.
I think
lengthwise.
People like a lot of times, especially with fish like that, you got to know how many people give those fish up before they're fully grown. You know what I mean?
Or unfortunately they just don't.
Or they don't make it. But like when you actually see a species like that to its full potential, it's really impressive. A lot of rainbow fish too. I think you never ever get to see how they look and like what they're supposed to look like as adults.
There's a lot. I mean, like tetras. My tetras. Bleeding heart tetras got so big, I was blown away.
What was I just saying? Candy cane tetras. My candy cane tetras were like 4 inches. They were freaking huge, like giant. Some of these things get really big. I had a 4.5-inch Praecox rainbow male that was a monster. I talk about all the time because I'm still amazed that he exists.
Mountaintop Puffer Keeper, member for 6 months. Thank you so much. Says, what's a good group size to buy and tank setup for a cool cichlid like T-bar cichlid? Considering adding another unique cichlid project. Well, I'll let you handle that one. That's your fish.
Yeah, I would get 6 of them to start out with, and you could put them in a 40 breeder and let them pair up. And they're sexable. Like, I can already sex a handful of them in the group that we have. They're about 1.5 inches, and I can already tell. It's really easy to see males. Like, when it's a definite male, you know what I mean? Like, I can spot a definite male, but then there's others I'm like, ooh, that could be a male or a female. Like, the male that I know for sure, if that makes sense. So
And I think, this is a rumor, but I think there's going to be some available at the wet spot pretty soon.
Yes.
They saw our short. We posted a short of our T-bar fry, and they reached out and were like, "Hey, you want to sell some of those?"
Yeah. We also have a couple other things that probably will be there too. But yeah, them for sure, because they're doing really well and they're growing really quickly. And they are ready to move on. That's the thing. They're Central American cichlids. They grow quickly. They're prolific breeders. If you get a pair, they're going to breed for you. Like, period. The thing is once they start breeding, you need to separate them because they will beat the hell out of the other fish in the tank. And you need to watch the male with the female after. I mean, you need to watch them both, but really you need to watch the male with the female because they don't always. I've had a couple that didn't care at all. But I've also had some that got really aggressive with the female and they can kill the female. So you just need to keep your eye on them. They're really nice fish. I say this is this is worst case scenario, extreme situation, but they're really great fish. And like we have a couple males and a 40 breeder that we had to take out of the tank with the pair and they're fine. They have no problems. They're just chilling. So they're great fish. They're beautiful fish. The eyes, the blue eyes, so pretty.
Guy says, does anyone have experience with killifish Australia? I know that's not how you pronounce it. Whoa, who's this weirdo?
No. You
breeding. I bought a pair last week and have 10 eggs so far. So I do not. I have kept that fish, but I've never spawned them. So maybe someone in chat can help us out.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. I apologize. I don't have a lot of killifish experience other than the lamp eyes.
And Sith Lord 1 SW fan. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that SW stands for Star Wars. No. I'm just guessing.
I am shook.
With the $10 thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. We
and
really
I love Star
appreciate
Wars,
it.
So I'm not making fun. I actually
one of the best trilogies ever made.
I have been a Star Wars fan since it wasn't cool, so I appreciate it.
Star Wars has always been cool. So
believe me, it wasn't to the people that made fun of me for liking it. So
well, that's because they're not cool.
Well, I would agree with that. And yes, Barbara, Congo tetras do get freaking. Well, if we're talking about like the regular old Interruptus, the Congos, yes, they get they can get up to 4 inches. I've seen them get that big. Not always.
Who's interrupting?
Waka
waka waka.
Oh my god, I do love that.
My LFS has these dwarf neon rainbows that were stunning and have me ready to buy a new tank for them.
I really recommend them to so many people in so many tank settings, as long as it's at least a 3-foot tank.
T-bar cichlids have blue eyes?
Yes, they do.
They certainly do. They're blue eye cichlids.
Show them the T-bars. They're so cute.
Luminatus are amazing. I agree.
Oh yeah, Luminatus are. That is
you
very
will
true.
see them in this video somewhere. I mean, rocket killies are pretty cool too.
Luminatus are. The name is so fitting, because they really are luminous.
Are they? Illuminate.
Oh, here we go. All right.
Deluminate.
Yeah, the T-bars are kind of like since he's not going to pull them up for you, they're kind of like a dark brown purple. They're like a purple almost, I guess. I would categorize it as purple. And they have what they call as a T, but it's basically like some black barring on the sides when they get excited or when they're just depending on the mood, and their eyes are ice blue. And the males will get a nuchal hump. So, and the males have red rimmed fins and kind of an extended dorsal, and the females have like a yellowy, and it's not really orange, it's just like a yellow on their fins. So they're sexable, usually around 1.5 inches, 2 inches. That's the nice thing, is you can look at them, it's like ketchup and mustard. Males are ketchup, females are mustard. There you go. But they both have the blue eyes. The base color's the same. They're really pretty.
You guys aren't leaving enough comments. You're making it look like Fish Fam Link is spamming the chat. More comments. They're free. They're free, people.
Yeah. You don't have to pay for the comments.
Welcome to the Dream Team.
Oh my goodness, Flatbed and Cowboy won. I'm just calling you Flatbed from here
Just
on
so
out.
you know, we do have a member
you.
stream every week before this stream, starting at 3:30 PST.
In case you didn't know.
Just in case.
You can mosey on over to that, my friend.
Mosey on over.
I love saying mosey.
And Stephen P. Holy Smokes gifting 5. So
that was nice.
Fish Hunter, Hip Hop Hillbilly, you already know. Benjamin and Guy, again, 3:30 p.m. PST every Monday.
So I grew up with this family, and one of the kids' name was...
I grew up with a family, too.
Shut up. One of their son's name was Benjamin, and my friend Nick, his brother, used to call him Benjamin. Benjamin. Every time he'd be like, Benjamin! And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not his name. Like, I'm pretty sure it's Benjamin. I wonder if you've ever been called Benjamin before. Like, he always did it. I'm like, that's your brother. You should know his name.
I wonder if this sounds normal.
I'm sure that doesn't annoy everyone.
Oh.
It's kind of like when you go to Starbucks to order coffee, and so he just goes up to the drive-thru and starts saying, I'm Batman. That's okay.
Hey. What's wrong with that? I'm Batman.
I don't know. My loose foam.
Sid, you are not shadow banned. Absolutely not. I don't even know that you can be shadow banned.
Can you?
In a live
stream.
stream.
How does that? Yeah, I don't know how that would work. I'm not sure.
You can be shadow banned as a creator, but I don't know that you can be shadow banned as a watcher.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a good question.
But you're not banned
This comment
anyway.
cost me $2. Nancy, I love you. Did it? Was it worth it? I hope it was worth it. Thank you. Thank you. It was worth it. It was worth it to me in my heart. I appreciate that.
Barbara says, I fell asleep and took an unscheduled nap, so I missed the member stream, but it is
how
totally
dare
worth
you
it.
Take an unscheduled. Aren't those the best naps? I feel like those are the only naps I ever get, if they ever even happen, ever.
All right, Aquatic Moose wants to know what the best loach is.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Speaking of loaches, there's the spined loach.
You know what? I do love those spine loaches because what I like about them is they're kind of hardier than a lot of other loaches.
These are very hardy loaches.
I appreciate a fish that's going to be with me and not have issues. And their personality, they're not shy. They remind me of like dojo loaches, but smaller. And I love dojo loaches, but they just get too big. So I do really like those spine loaches. Very simple looking, but...
Well, like, I mean, you could say this about most any loach, but they just have really good personalities.
They do. And I think to me that matters a lot more. Because I know there's prettier loaches, but that's funny that just so happened to be...
Like these guys right here.
Which I would not recommend. They're a lot more sensitive. A lot more sensitive than the spine loach, but beautiful. Mm-hmm. Absolutely beautiful.
And the nice thing about these guys, this is the red lizard.
Mm-hmm. Red lizard loach.
Wait, no.
Chinese red lizard loach, isn't it?
No.
It's Chinese something. God, look at it. They're
drawing a blank.
They remind me of nurse sharks. That's why I like them so much. But they just, unfortunately, ours did not do well long term. We had them for a good while, but they didn't thrive. I feel like one of them ate too much.
It might be the red lizard loach.
Didn't eat enough. Huh? I thought it was.
Yeah, we had one that was just really fat,
it was
and
like
it just
alarming. I don't know what he wouldn't stop eating, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Stop it! You've gotten too large." I didn't know what to do about it. It was weird.
I'm going to show you a really, really cool one, though. Which is probably my favorite. Got to pull it up here. Oops. Paste and go.
Saddleback red lizard looks like. Oh, coolies for hardiness. See, that's why I like the spine loaches. Just something that's going to live and do well and have a cool personality.
These guys right here are the royal butterfly loach, I believe, is the common name.
Hemimizon anasis.
So here's what I look for, what I like in loaches. They have, these are a mix of like Hillstream loaches and regular loaches. It's like a cross. So you don't get like the UFO body, but you get an elongated body, and you get like the same behavior, which is pretty cool.
They look kind of like, I always thought they looked kind of Gara-ish. Like,
oh, yeah, we were looking at dogs in the member stream.
Look at those dogs, Damascus wolf dogs. Amazing.
Let me show you these guys right here, the Vietnamese butterfly loaches. These are really cool.
Yeah, those are really cool.
Again, the shape I'm looking for. Like, that's...
But see, I feel
very
like
entertaining.
that tends to be a little more on the sensitive side, depending on other factors. But then you got these guys.
Lots of cool loaches. It'd be hard to pick just one.
I really would be.
Because, again, like, the zipper loaches are probably some of the most entertaining loaches.
This is also... What size tank do you have? What are your tank mates? It comes down to other things. You could, if you're trying to say, like, you know, what's your favorite first? Because I could say it's my favorite, but I can't have it in this tank, so I don't know. Yeah. Nurse or a bamboo shark. Yeah, Surf City. That's kind of what they look like. Ish. Very cool.
I love my Burmese border loaches. They're my favorite. Oh, what's the...
Those are the ones I've kept.
We have the ones... Oh, my gosh. Whoa. They start with an S. They're in the middle, 20 long. Serpent loaches.
Oh.
Serpent loaches are really cool, too. I don't
even know what you're talking about. Yeah, I forgot we have those.
Serpents.
I forget about a lot of the loaches, to be fair. They kind of, like, hide and do their stuff in there, and... Yeah. Show any more accidental tabs, don't worry. It'd be like a different type of dog or another type of lizard or fish. That's it. Tiger sand loach is my all-time fave. They remind me of little muskies. I was just watching something about muskies earlier. That's funny. Ironic.
That is funny.
All right. Calm that right down. The hovering zebra loaches are my very first loaches, and they're so cute, but they're so shy. Is that normal? They hide all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I've never kept them. So.
You got to have a big school of them.
That makes sense.
Unfortunately. I've kept quite a few different species of loaches over the last couple of years now, and I found, like, I mean, this is not rocket science. Like any fish, the more the better, right? Yeah. Usually, when it comes to schooling fish, like loaches, shoaling, schooling, whichever.
If your tank can handle it, I have come to the conclusion that really, if you can fit more of the same species, whether it's a cichlid, like for our, like the Geophagus type cichlids, or like the tank, our 125, we have such big groups of all the fish that are in there, and they all are so happy and so confident, and it's crazy. Like, I've never seen happier, more confident fish. And some of these fish did not even come out before. Like, it was like crazy to see how quickly that turned around when you had larger groups, even with the cichlids. So, food for thought.
I've got at least 10. Need more. What size tank, though?
Yeah, how big is your tank? 10's not a
Also,
small
what are the
amount.
tank mates?
That's a good question.
Because if there's fish that are more boisterous than the loaches, then they tend to not come out as much.
I find with the larger cichlids, like Geophagus type cichlids, or the cichlids that get 8 to 10 inches, people want to buy one of each. And that is not the way. Like, they just don't, they need, especially for like the Satanoperca. Oh my God, we have 8, and I feel like we could have 8 more. You know what I mean? It's just so, they love to be in the groups. Even when they kind of bicker amongst each other, you can tell that they function better as a group.
Just want to tell you guys about some fresh seafood.
Ooh, okay.
OM Seafood on the top end of Powell. I don't even know what any of that means.
Powell is in Seattle, right?
I have no idea.
Seattle, which I appreciate any information, but like, oh my God, I'd rather die than go there. It's so, and it's not even that far, but it's.
Do we
awful.
keep any axolotls? No. While I do like axolotls, and I think they're fascinating creatures, I don't think I would ever own one. Just because I don't think I could ever keep it cool enough in the summer.
I'm not, it's weird because I do love everything, but I've never been, there's certain things that grab me, and I've never gravitated towards axolotls. I kept newts growing up. I loved the newts. I love salamanders. But
it's in Portland.
That's what I meant. Did I say Seattle? I 100% meant to say Portland because, like, that's what I was thinking in my brain. I still don't want to go to Portland and deal with anything other than the wet spot because Portland is also a pain in the butt. So, yeah, I've never really cared about an axolotl. I don't know why, because they're very cool. I just never, I don't know. Not my thing.
Cheryl says, we have 9 clown loaches and a 125. They'll be upgraded to a 210 when they get bigger.
That'll be good for, yeah, that's good. I'm bleeding.
Fish Tank Barn says, late was putting fish in a tubs until I got rained on. That's going to be us tomorrow.
Yeah, really. What kind of fish were you putting in tubs, buddy? Tubbing it? Oh. 1 regular bristlenose, but it's the 20-gallon quarantine tank. They're going to be in a 40 breeder this week. Clowns are cool. They're just too quick for me. Like, it's too much for me. I like more calm fish than that.
What pH does bacteria in the bottle do best when adding to aquariums? So I am going to be very anti-bacteria in a bottle.
Yeah, that's not going to be the best bet.
I have done research, and maybe I haven't done the right research, but I still don't understand how organisms that need lots of oxygen to survive in a bottle in a warehouse that's usually very hot for months, and then they get transported, they get wholesaled out, then they got to get retailed out. They're sitting on shelves for months at a time. I just don't know how something stays alive. I've also never had it work. I've bought 10 different brands. Even the Fritz, like a lot of people swear by the Fritz.
Yeah, the Fritz one.
I've never had it work.
I bought
ever.
the like Uncle whoever's whatever one time because I was like, does this really work? Like, I just wanted to try it to see if it worked, and I really just think it took as long as what I believe a cycle for me would take. You know what I mean? I was like, this isn't any different than just like doing what I normally do to speed it up. You know what I mean? Like, it helped a little, but I already could get my tank cycled pretty quickly just because I had ways to do that, like media and filters and
Fish
stuff.
Tank Barn says, a few rare live bearers, and then list words that I have no business pronouncing.
Where?
So.
Oh. Oy.
Yeah.
Ziph malicinch, Ziph
is short.
and Zentoka elsini. Yikes. That's a lot going on. I don't have a clue what any of those are. To be Zentoka, I think I might know, but I don't know the Elsini.
Bought some dubia roaches and ordered from Dubia.
Which size did you get? Out of curiosity.
You should also get super worms. So if you're ordering from Dubia, just order like 100 super worms too.
You need the super worms. Don't ever get mealworms. Super worms. No mealworms.
There's not a lot of lizards that can actually digest mealworms.
No, mealworms are crap.
Like, bearded dragons can, and I can't even
barely
remember another one offhand.
Barely. It's not even good for them. You shouldn't even feed them. If you can do super worms, because there's less chitin, but you don't do mealworms. There's just no point. It's all skin and tissue and like hard tissue. It's not helpful for them. I like the Mbuna, a snuggly fish. If there was to be one, just saying. I loved pets. That's funny. Bacteria is free and everywhere. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I'm like. If you already have, I don't know if you have no tanks or you just want to like, but you could always try and get media or go to an LFS and ask for like, if you could get some like, I think I've done that before when I needed it at my LFS. Like, hey, can I get like a bag of media?
Lumpy Dog makes a good point here. It says bacteria in a bottle, LOL. Use a little patience and the hobby gets easier. That's one thing. Everybody in general wants everything instantly, but it's in this hobby, like patience is probably the most important thing you could have to be a successful fish keeper. Just be patient.
I've heard that argument. I've overheard it more than once at a fish store of people going, oh, but I want to get it. Or my kid is ready. We told them they could get a fish today. They thought that's always what it is the kid thinks they're going to go to the store and get a fish. And then when they sit there and they go, buddy, you're going to need to wait another 3 to 4 weeks. That kid freaks out. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, but you know what? You're setting them up for failure. I really don't understand. You're setting yourself up for failure.
Fish Hunter says, FYI, I recently ordered from the wet spot with your code. Thank you so much. And I hope you got the discount.
Yes, Regina. No more mealworms. Just get the super worms. They're better. They are better. Mealworms are just not as.
Leo, hornworms are probably not going to be good for you.
Don't do hornworms. You can every now and then as a treat. They don't hold as much
They're
nutritional value. They're
too.
very fat. It's like having McDonald's. So if you want to get them every now and then and feed as a treat, like every few weeks, you can to supplement.
Or if you're like growing out something. You know.
But don't feed it regularly. I also, to be honest with you, I one time bought them and I couldn't even feed them because I think they're really cool and they have little face. It's hard for me to feed. So I can't feed silkworms either because I kept them growing up as pets. I kept them as an adult as pets. So I can't, even though silkworms are by far like the most nutritious feeder for fish, for reptiles, for us, like they're very nutritious, but I can't do it. Yeah, but if you...
Matt says, some LFS will give you a cycled sponge filter if you buy a new one to replace theirs. Just another reason of why I say every fish tank should have a sponge filter. Mm-hmm. If you set up a new tank, just take it out and move it over.
We usually have several just in tanks, and then you can just move them around, you know? It's nice. And this is, of course, insinuating that you don't have disease in any of these tanks. You don't want to be moving stuff around that you could potentially be contaminating other tanks, but we don't really worry about that. We have quarantine tanks, and then we have tanks that we can move filters around all the time. Silkworms are really nutritious feeders, Sid. They're really, really high nutritious content for animals. So they are considered like a superfood for reptiles. They're just very expensive, hard to find, and I feel bad feeding them because I raise them, and I think they're really cool, and I love the little moths. So, what's up, Eric? Oh my God. I don't want the drama from you, you drama queen. Come here. What is his problem? Is he upset that you're showering attention upon this one?
All right, go lay down.
Good grief. Yeah, his poor dog. Oh, good. You're trying mosquito larva after the video. Oh, cool. Oh, you did? You did try it. Okay. Yeah, fish will go crazy for that. The way they flick around, it's almost like the absolute best.
Wait, who said that?
Mel. It's the best movement for any type of fit, like, because it flicks. I mean, that's perfect.
Really good for gobies. Our gobies love them.
They do.
Which water dechlorinated do you recommend? Prime? I actually recommend Safe because it's a better value.
It is a better value. That is
but
true.
Same thing.
Yeah, Prime works. We use Prime too. We use both. Whatever we have at the moment, we have one or the other.
What's your record for the longest time between canister? 3 years. And it's because I never cleaned it.
You win. I probably went about a year and a half. Maybe a year probably. And it was an FX4, and it just didn't matter. It was like it didn't even need it. It was not necessary, really.
Yep. The only reason I cleaned it was for the video. For the clickbait video. It got like 100,000 views.
There you go. I'd clean mine too for that, but.
Yeah, it made 100,000 views would be about $1,200.
Yeah, worth it. Canister filters are just a pain in the ass. Who wants to take those apart? It's the worst.
Do you think you could keep Medaka and shrimp in the same outdoor tub? Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
All good. They're too small. Their mouths. They might eat shrimplets, but who cares? Like whatever. There'll be plenty. Especially if you have shrimp outside. Shrimp love to be outside. They look beautiful. Their color gets really nice. Definitely do shrimp outside.
I gave the larvae to my guppies and golden. Oh, I bet the killifish love it.
I love golden wonder killies. I had those. I loved them. They are jumpers though. If there ever was a jumper, it's them.
Where do I purchase safe? I get it wholesale, but I know Amazon sells it if you're not anti-Amazon. I can't think of anyone else that sells it online besides Amazon.
Yeah, that's it.
I've never looked though, so
I used to get it from my LFS.
If there's someone else buying safe online, let us know where you're getting it from.
You can normally get it from an LFS. Like I think two out of three of my LFS had it, so you can try to look there also.
I thought there was a dog in my yard. Didn't realize it was coming from this.
He's having a fit.
They've been sleeping for like 2 hours, and now they're finally up. So.
Yeah. Now they're going at it. You turd birds. He's gonna start making noise again when you do that. It's so funny how much skin he has. You could like flop it completely over his face. Okay, we can't both pay attention to the dogs because it's not gonna work out. As long as no one's saying anything, I guess it's fine. So
that's how I found the eagles earlier. It was the dogs were barking like crazy, and then I went out and found eagles fighting.
You know what, Regina? I also saw them at Petco. I don't know if it was. I think I actually saw them recently. I think I saw them at our Petco.
What? Who?
Golden Wonder Killies.
Oh.
And I was a little surprised because they're not the most common. But yeah, it's not. I really like them. I just think that you have to put that disclaimer that with them, lids. I know lids always, but really lids with those guys because.
Steven says, I have a Golden Wonder pair, and they are straight up murderers.
Oh, that is why I like them, because watching them eat.
Diddly urdlers.
Live food. I'd feed them dubias. They have big enough mouths to eat baby dubias, and they go after. They jump for
Are there any cooler fish than pseudomcgills? I mean, look at these guys.
Yeah, those are ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Ugh.
Oh.
And then the baddest.
Not as cool, but, it's okay. Listened to another heater horror story and thought I better unplug my heater when I get home. Accidentally unplugged my hang-on back instead and killed 4 fish in the 24 hours it took for me to notice. Oh, no. I didn't know that's where I was headed. I'm sorry.
That's why I always have the water line like 4 inches below so I can hear the splashing. It's just, I'm kidding.
Dang it. I know. That's... Oh, I'm sorry that happened. That sucks.
We recently lost a lot of fish, so we feel your pain.
It's never fun. It never gets easier. It's never like, oh, I've already lost fish. No, it's hard. It's worse always. It's awful. How is it red root floaters will grow like crazy? My 20-gallon, but my 40-10, they don't last. Weird. Same way. I've had that happen with red root floaters. I've had it happen with water lettuce, where I would pick water lettuce out of one tank, put it in another that's right next to it. Same everything, same size even. And it wouldn't do well.
So any floating plant is going to be a nutrient hog. Yeah, so for whatever reason, you have a lot more nutrients in that one tank than you do in the other.
But see, for mine, it was the same. I don't know. It made no sense to me, honestly. All of mine were, they should have been fine in all of them, and they weren't. It made no sense. It was a mystery.
Brandon says, I labeled all my cords with tape.
That's smart.
Well, usually, the way I do it is usually hang-on backs have that stupid sticker near the plug. Like the danger sticker. I don't know that there's a single brand that doesn't have that stupid sticker. So if that sticker is next to the plug, I know it's a hang-on back filter.
Upgrading my 29 to a 40 breeder this upcoming weekend. Just waiting on my Eco-Complete and Co-op light. Building the stand now. My Corys and Pandagars keep spawning. Nice. That's a good upgrade. I feel like that's a good one.
That's a fun upgrade.
Yeah, you get a lot of space in a 40 breeder. It's very nice.
Johnny, I don't have a code for the co-op. You just have to use the link. It's been spammed in chat a few times. Well, spam's not the right word, but it's been linked in chat a few times. Or if you just wait, it'll be linked again. I think it's like every 10 minutes it should pop up or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, Benjamin brings up another point. Floaters don't like flow or to be wet on top. So if something is splashing, like a hang on back is splashing on them, generally doesn't end well.
No. They like to sit. And when they sit, mine did best in a betta tank that I had, where there was no flow essentially, and they grew like gangbusters in that tank.
I used to live in northern Minnesota. We'd see bald eagles daily. Hey, so do we. I swear one was suicidal. It nosedived straight to my car. Came inches from hitting my windshield when I was going 60 miles per hour.
I think it's that they get going so quickly that they can't navigate around it, because that was at the raptor center by my house growing up. That's most of the raptors that they had there, the birds of prey, were hit by cars. That was very common. They get hit a lot. It's unfortunate. Oh, it is like Christmas, isn't it? That is a great upgrade. They'll like it. A lot.
I keep my golden wonders with guppies, panagars, cories, and sparkling gouramis with no problems.
That's cool. Yeah,
sometimes you just get angry fish.
Mm-hmm, that's so true. And then, I mean, there are definitely species that you know are going to be more likely to be angry, but I still feel like it all comes down to that individual fish.
I have no problems with Fritz Complete.
Yeah, Fritz is good.
It's just the beneficial bacteria. Like, I don't care what company makes it. I don't buy it. I'm not on board with that.
Wait, are we talking about for the dechlorinator?
Yeah, Fritz Complete is dechlorinator.
Yeah, that's what I thought we were talking about. But I think that, yeah, I was confused. I only used it once. I just always used Prime because it was easier to find.
But Safe is still a better value, Leo.
Yeah, it's true. You have a little more control too, I feel like, with the Safe. Hello, my friend.
Like, I think the 8.8 ounce bottle of Safe in my fish room of 40 fish tanks will still last almost a year. Like, it's ridiculous.
Because you need like 5 granules for smaller tanks.
I know, it's great.
So nice. But depends on what size. But I used to buy the gallon jug of Prime because I had so many tanks and I just wanted to have it for any emergency situations. It has saved me. Prime and Safe also can save your butt in certain situations. It shouldn't be often, but there are sometimes situations where it can serve a purpose and help a lot. So I do like those products. I think they're good. Hello.
Leo says, Bob, don't judge me. I only judge people that keep Oscars in 55-gallon tanks.
Or 2 Oscars and 3 Jaguar cichlids and like 5 other monsters in a 125. I just saw that today and I was disgusted. I was like, who does? One of the Oscars is already 14 inches, by the way. I was like blown away. Blown away. Can't understand it. Never going to get it. I judge that all day long.
Mountaintop Puffer Keeper says, turns out ABI are ambush hunters.
Oh, you know what? Yeah.
The more you know.
I remember them hiding in the plants in the back and coming out. One of them specifically would like hide in the plants, and when I dropped food in, they would come out really quickly. The other 2 would just sit out and wait for it.
Matt says, no lids for me, so I go through tons of Prime during top-offs.
Yeah. I will be honest, and I've said it many times, I did not keep lids on all my tanks because I knew with like certain tanks I didn't need them. But on others I absolutely did. So I would keep tanks like my macrostoma, they had lids. So certain fish got lids all day long. Jungle tanks all the way.
Also, another sales pitch here. Don't forget to hit the like button.
Oh yeah. That's free though. So.
Yeah, normally people say it in chat, but
it's not a sales pitch if it's free. Like
it's free.
I feel like David Bowie right now. I got like this like stripe.
I don't even know what that means.
Got like the light on the eyeball, lightning.
See this tank right here is from 2015. It is almost 10 years old.
Different world then. Nice cherry barbs.
Those cherry barbs are from Petco, and look how cherry they are.
They're beautiful. And I don't even like cherry barbs. I'm not a big cherry barb fan.
I love cherry barbs.
I know most people do. I don't know why. I'm just not. They just never really. But those are really pretty ones. Certain things like that. I don't know. I don't know why certain fish don't do it for me because it's usually fish that people love. But then like I saw the Hyphespragon margitaes that I used to have, and Matt has them now. I think still. And I was watching YouTube earlier, and I saw some guy who had them. I'm like, what? These are so beautiful, but they don't really have a lot of color like cherry barbs do. So,
Leo, if you want to dislike, that's fine too. YouTube does not.
They just want the
care.
engagement.
YouTube does not care if it's a like or a dislike. All that matters is that you hit the button.
Talk trash all day long. That's just more engagement.
Trout goodies can jump. Oh, yeah. Especially when you're catching them and putting them in buckets.
What was... Oh, it was the flippin' hatchet fish. I've never seen a fish. Like, they fly. These fish float. We were moving them, and they're, like, jumping, like, 20 feet and flying. And I'm going, holy hell. Like, what is happening here?
That might be an exaggeration.
No, it was, like, 400 feet. It was crazy.
That's better.
It was crazy. They were jumping canyons. They're like Homer Simpson. It was wild.
Where do I go for cheap bulk plants? The problem with that, buddy, is that I get wholesale.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't even shop around.
Can I tell you where I have, as a consumer, before I had access to what he has access to, where I bought most of my plants came from Home Depot. The reason why is the Home Depot by me had whoever was taking care of their plants did a really nice job.
I'm sure he's talking about aquarium plants.
They have aquatic plants at Home Depot.
Oh, not the ones here.
Oh, well, maybe I should speak for my own Home Depot. Like I was gonna say, Ace Hardware, Lowe's. I used to get floating plants all over the place, like local aquatic gardens. Like we had like 2 or 3 different places. Maybe I was just spoiled because where I came from in California, plants can grow all year long. Like we have stuff that can.
Hey, Fish Room. Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
gotta say hi to Fish Room. Just got back from Aquashella.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that too. Except I saw his post earlier. So.
It
reminded me. I didn't even know Aquashella happened last. Oh no, yeah, I didn't even know. Like I saw the video of John saying he's not going, but I totally forgot about it. I moved some fish around in my fish room, and now I have a 20-gallon tall, fully planted aquarium with shrimps, but no fish.
More shrimp.
Any stocking ideas?
What kind of shrimp are they?
Boy, there's so many cool nano fish. Like
Batis.
You
could do wild bettas, like
I would do pseudomcgills.
Oh, you could do that.
I mean, if you haven't seen the pseudomcgills in this video, they're pretty freaking rad.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Rack Cross, what's up, buddy? I met Rack in 2016 at the Chicago Aquatic Experience, I believe. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Had an SAE jump out of a bucket, and it went into it.
I believe that.
10+ feet. Jumped literally from the garage to the kitchen.
Jesus, I believe that.
He's trying to jump into a frying pan for you.
What? I was moving a fish yesterday, and I was so incredibly impressed with how far it jumped. I had to say something, and now I don't remember.
Does it say it was the gymnos?
Oh, yeah. Was it?
The gymno, yeah, when we were moving them.
No, it wasn't. It was it was something else. No, it was a Cupid cichlid. Wasn't it? I don't remember.
It was I promise you.
Okay.
Because then it happened to me right after, and I was like, "Whoa!" And you were like, "Yeah!" And I was like, "Whoa!"
Maybe that was it.
That's exactly how it went.
I used to go to a place in Sacramento called Amy Hardware. It was an Ace Hardware store, but it was called Amy Hardware, and they had all kinds of aquatic plants during the season, like spring and summer. They had a ton. Winter, they didn't have nearly as many, but.
Lucas says, just jumped in to say hi. Well, hello. Nice videos of the fish in the background. Thank you. I do love a green fire tetra.
Yeah, those are cool. Time
Matt
to
says,
cook. Later, Matt.
Matt M says, I love pseudomcgills, but they are the only fish I've ever had jump out of my tanks.
Oh.
And I've always used lids, but they got the small gaps.
You want to know one of the jumpiest fish for me was the purple spotted gudgeon. Damn those things. Those things used to just jump all the time. It's annoying.
I have pseudomcgills in another aquarium. Excuse me. The shrimp are blue. Really? You know what would be cool is the dwarf swordtail. Man, I'm
Pygmy swordtail?
Yeah, the pygmy swordtails are
very cool.
actually a very underrated fish in my opinion. I do have a video that's actually getting a lot of views right now. You might want to check it out. It is called Micro Marvels, 15 nanofish that rule the miniature seas. Get it? But those are all. I made that video because I was trying to get some ideas for nanofish, and if you search on YouTube for nanofish, like every freaking video has the same 5 or 6 fish, and it's really frustrating. So I do not use any of the common fish in that video, so I would check it out, and maybe it'll give you some inspiration.
Larger in size between the T-bars and cupids are cupids. Cupids are larger fish. than T-bars by about an inch, not even an inch. Some like cupids will get like 5.5, 6 inches at most, and T-bars will get like 5.5. Like they're pretty much, but there's just a different shape.
I would say, yeah, T-bars are going to be thicker.
We have some really large cupids. Like our largest cupid cichlid is probably like at least 6 inches. It's pretty big, and our largest T-bar is probably like 4.5, 5 right now. He's not fully grown though. Almost there, but not quite. And I also would say that as far as temperament goes, the T-bars are going to be more aggressive than the cupids. I don't know if that matters, but they're and I wouldn't even say aggressive. They're definitely feistier than the cupids. Cupids can be really shy.
Y'all just see that dork? Yeah. Only jumper I've had so far is diamond tetras.
Really?
Wow.
But they look beautiful.
You must have never kept hatchetfish.
God, the fuck you.
You know what others? What else would be cool in your 20 with shrimp are any of the pencil fish. Mm-hmm. Lots of cool pencil fish out there.
Equus, they're the best. They're the ones that sit at a 45-degree angle. Dip tail pencils.
I might check out the Pygmy swordtail. I was strongly considering doing a wild type live bear. Yeah, I got the Pygmy swordtails in that video, so
they've multiplied quite a bit, I believe. There's a lot of babies in there, which is
and
nice.
They have a really cool like blue sheen to them. That's really nice.
They're very happy little fish. I really enjoy feeding them.
I've got them with like 20 strawberry rasboras.
That's right.
And I'm sure there's Corys in there somewhere too. I just don't remember which ones.
Word. Yeah, there's Corys in there for sure, but God knows what they are. I have no idea.
I found a mono shrimp in different rooms that the tanks are in. Still alive. The dog finds them for me.
Yeah.
It's so weird,
Amanos, man. They
watching
do get out.
Like a full-grown Amano. The small Amanos, but the like a full-grown like 3-inch Amano walking across the floor is a pretty wild thing.
It's almost like a crayfish, like kind of. They're pretty flippin' big. I've had some pretty large ones.
I wonder what fish Dan has coming in. He's mentioned the past few streams. They are getting some really cool imports. Well, good, because I watch his website every day. I'm always refreshing to see the new fish. And I feel like there hasn't been anything for a week now. So that'd be cool. I don't know I have no idea what he's getting, but
hope it is cool though, because I like looking at cool fish.
Robert Johnson says, I'm late. Are you doing a 2-hour stream? Will you go an hour and a half now? Just an hour and a half. I would highly recommend the Pygmy swordtails to anyone. They're not very common. They breed super easily, and they're just a neat fish that's very underrated in my opinion. Sen Ginger says, clown loaches have jumped out of my tanks back in the day. I'd never own them now, knowing they get the football size.
They're flipping huge.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But it does take like 9 years for them to get that big.
Yeah, but they do get that big. I mean, you're going to need space from eventually. Speaking of cool cichlids, what's your opinion of angelfish? I don't think I've ever really heard you talk. So I know, my opinion, personally, I like one type really. Well, I like the Philippine blues. I kept those and I liked them. And I kept the Rio Nene spotted. And the Rio Nene spotted angels are, in my opinion, the prettiest angelfish I've ever seen or kept. And they get a lot larger than, like, they're almost like, I mean, no, I don't want to say they're just really different looking. They have really distinct spots on them. So they're very different than a lot of angelfish. And I really do like those. But other than that, they just don't interest me a whole lot. So.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I did get some Leopoldi angels like back in 2017. And I had them for about 4 years. And they were just, I don't know. They were just like, it's a fish that I feel like everybody has, and I see them. Like I see them. Yeah. Any which way I look, I feel like I see a tank with angels, and I don't know. But I'm also not a big discus fan either. No. So it's just something about angels and discus. I think discus are beautiful, but they just don't like. It's just like a discus floating. A discus. It's like a frisbee, just like casually floating around in your tank. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know why I don't like them, but I'll probably never keep angels again, and I've never kept discus, and I don't see myself ever keeping discus.
I went out of my way to order Philippine blues from a breeder in New York, and I ordered like 4, and he sent me 12. And I think it was because they were really small, and I remember being like, okay, cool, and my luck, they all freaking lived. Like, so I had 12 angelfish, and I'm like, what do I do with these? Like, what do I do with these?
I do remember one time I helped someone local move a tank, and as a thank you, everyone that came and helped, it was like a 450-gallon tank. There was like 6 of us, and he was like, I'm buying pizza for everyone, and I have like 200 angelfish fry. And
everybody gets angelfish.
Yeah, he gave everyone like a dozen of these
That's
angelfish.
so
They were like an inch, and they were cool at that size, but the minute they got above like 2.5 inches, I was like, and I went and took them into my local fish store.
The problem for me is they spawn. Like if you have a pair, which you're almost guaranteed to have, like if you buy more than just a few, they spawn, and they can be kind of jerks when they spawn. Like I noticed that mine were not nice, and I was like, I don't like you enough to keep you around with that attitude. Like I'm good. It's almost like Central American cichlids. They're guaranteed to spawn. I feel like mine. It was like annoying.
I hate it when fish live.
I know. Whenever I say that, people are like, "Oh no!" But I think he was in New York shipping these fish in December, and I think he thought in his head like some are gonna die, and they're like this big. They were like quarter size. So he probably just assumed I'm gonna do the right thing and send some extras, trying to be nice. And I'm like, of course they all live, and of course because everything lives for me, they just lived forever. Like it was ridiculous. Great.
Mel says, I'm hoping Dan gets the CW27 Brevirostris. I never pronounce it correctly. Found 2 at my LFS in a random Cory tank, and the LFS didn't know what they had.
I love when that happens.
I know. I feel like I see him. I think I've seen him once at Dan's. I think I've seen him about every 3 or so months at the wet spot. Where else do I find Cory's? I don't think I've seen him anywhere else, to be honest. Just those 2 places.
Yeah, Regina said discus are jerks when they spawn too. That's why I thinned my herd in half. The thing is certain fish are worth it to me with that attitude. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, okay, you can be a jerk, you're super cool, but if you better be real cool if you're gonna be like that, not a discus.
Here's the thing though, like discus are angry, angelfish are angry because people raise the temperatures on them, and that makes them angry.
Dude, they don't need to be at 90 degrees. It's crazy.
I know, like Dan has been. I don't know how Dan's experiment went, but he was keeping discus that were bred at like 78-degree water, and well, I haven't seen him bring in any discus, so maybe it didn't go well.
Yeah, I was gonna say that could have not ended well, but I'm not sure.
But apparently the discus he was getting were bred in like high 70s, and he was keeping them in the high 70s, and they were doing really great. So
I'm gonna be honest, I know for a fact one of my local fish stores kept them at like way lower temperatures and said they were fine, like said there was no issues. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't kept them myself, and I never would, so I don't have any great information. They're just not my thing. Like, not my thing. It's okay. That's why there's more than one horse in a horse race, right? Everybody likes different stuff.
Alec, I apologize. I saw you earlier. I didn't say hi. Hello. Hope you're doing well, buddy.
Hello.
You did see them at Dan's. They were on your Dan's Fish tour way back.
No, they were.
Love that video, yeah.
We had them on the tour, but since then, I don't think we've heard anything about them. Since that time, because he explained it all to us then. He went over the entire...
And to be fair, I don't catch every live stream, so I don't know if he's talked about that project at all.
My discus tank is 82. My angel... See, yeah, that's fine. That should be fine. And look, you have success, so there's proofs in the pudding.
This happens all the time with angelfish because people will raise the temperature to get them to spawn when you don't really need to. But like back in the day, that's what everyone was doing. And of course, when you raise the temperature, then the fish get angry because they are spawning. But if you just kept them,
you're speeding up the life cycle one way or the other. Your fish are gonna go through their life cycle quicker if they're at that heat for a significant amount of time. They used to tell me to do that with rams too, with the gold rams, and I was like,
I've never kept rams over 78 degrees.
No, why?
I've never had a problem.
There's no reason for. I never had an issue either. So when everyone crank it up, I'm like, why? They're fine. Why would I crank it up when they're doing well? I feel like that's just dumb advice. It's like chasing pH. Why would I chase something when something's healthy and thriving? Why would I do anything different than what I'm doing at that point? When I wouldn't even ask for advice. You know what I mean? Like the situations like that where...
Joe says, love this stream. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Thanks. See, yeah, look at it. See, and I love when everyone then chimes, look, mine are at everyone's keeping them at those temps and they're fine. Come on. This is what just, like, I'll never understand people that just marry that type of advice and won't, like, refuse to see anything else. They're just like, no, I see nothing else. There's no other way.
Kenny, what's up, buddy? Better late than never. I agree.
Word. Yeah, I get angry when temps get too hot, too. That's a true story.
Also, just a higher chance of a heater to fail. Maybe. I don't know what the research shows there, but it wouldn't surprise me. What temps would you keep your Central and South American cichlids? I keep everything at about 75 degrees.
That's what I've always kept. 75 to 78 is what I've always kept all my centrals and south side.
I've got 3 racks of tanks. The temperature goes 70, 74, 78. Obviously, as you get higher, it gets warmer.
It fluctuates a degree or two here and there, but never really much more than that. I have 9 angelfish in my 125. Yes, they're jerks. I keep them at 78. Yeah, I noticed that mine became, once they paired off, they became very jerky to everybody. And that's when I was like, okay, enough. I did buy one of them actually because I felt bad for it at one of my local fish stores because it was in a surrender tank, and it was a beautiful angelfish that was getting the hell kicked out. It was just getting beat to hell. It looked terrible. So I was like, oh my God, just give it to me and I'll keep it, and it lived forever.
Zen Ginger says, my discus were set at 80 and they stayed between 79 and 81, but that's what I was told. That's why my rams kept dying. I don't believe that at all because they need like 82.
I bet you they came from poor genetics.
Yeah, so they're inbred really bad. There's a lot of, I mean, I don't know where you got them from.
Yeah, not to like try and badmouth, but that's generally the case.
When I was selling fish, I sold gold rams, blue rams, and I don't heat the tanks, right? So it's whatever the temperature of the fish room is that day. And sometimes it got into the low 70s at night, like in the winter, and I never had a problem with them. Yeah. So, now breeding could be you might want to kick up the temperature if you want to breed them, but just keeping them alive, I've never had issues keeping them at 78.
When I give advice for temperatures, it's always advice as far as like keeping them every day, not for spawning. I would specifically call that out if I was like, but no, for regular old living life and being healthy, they're fine.
Leo with the $5 super chat.
Buddy.
Puffers rule, and anyone that dislikes the stream can kick rocks.
Or just leave.
Thank you so much, buddy. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Leo. I'm very excited for your lizards, Leo. Just to throw that in there. I think you're going to really be happy. They're joyous little creatures.
One of my favorite names. Window Licker number 5 says, Bob, do you play with temps for spawning? Cold water changes before a storm? All of that is correct when it comes to my Corydoras.
Yes.
D, all of the above.
For all of those.
Yeah, and Leo says, during the summer, I shut off my heaters. Same here. I shut off the room heater and just let the outside temperature do its thing.
That's the thing is, like, there's natural shifts in seasons for these fish in real life. There is no reason why you can't fluctuate their temps or let... It just doesn't make sense to me. People are so terrified of any... Here we go. Would you like to speak? Go ahead. The T-bars I got are awesome. 3 of them in 3 different tanks. Get along with everything, even though they are now a lot larger. How big do these get? Males get about 5 inches. Females get about 4. And yeah, I've never had them be mean to other fish. They're not. They can fight amongst each other, but they're fine with anything. They're very easy to move into most situations, most community settings.
Nancy, German blue rams were best. Kept those for a couple years, but the eggs never hatched, and the gold rams never lasted more than a year. And black rams, like 6 months, and I never got the black.
I had the same experience with gold and black rams. They didn't do well for me. I had German blues that did fine, but usually I stopped keeping them completely because I was so over it. Like, it was just not worth it.
When I was selling fish, I found a supplier, and I could not believe the price on these rams. They were under $1 each.
Oh my.
And I was like, no way can these be good. But I got some to try, and I was like, okay, they look good, but do they last? And, obviously I'm selling fish, so I can't keep them forever. But I had no problems with them ever. And so I just kept buying more, and I never got really any negative feedback. I don't know if any of the ones you bought were from me. Hopefully not, because there's the negative feedback. But I never had any issues with them. They were always healthy. They never came in with anything. And I've bought them from a couple different sources, and usually there's one of those fish like, if I'm buying some from some of these Florida farms, they're going to come in with ick, like guaranteed or something, But I don't know. I just found the magical batch of them for a little bit.
Any experience with autopharynx tetrastigma? I don't know what those are. Do you know what autopharynx tetrastigma are? I'm not. I like the name.
It's an African cichlid, I believe.
Is it? That's probably why I don't know what it is.
But I might be wrong.
Okay, well, we'll see.
And I want to say...
It looks African-y to me.
So... I've never kept this, but I think I have kept otopharynx.
There you go.
Of different species. And it was like one in a mixed tank, so I'm not going to be the best
It's pretty.
to give you experience. I've never had any aggression with them. What else was it? Gosh, it was otopharynx. I think it started with an L. But, man, I haven't been into African cichlids in like 5 years, so it's been a while, so my memory's not there. But I had them with Mabuna, peacocks, Copitochromis, the star sapphire cichlid, which I forget the scientific name offhand. But yeah, I never had any issues with it.
Steve Ribicki of Angels Plus says keep angels at 75. He's been breeding them for 40 years. See, there you go. That's I find it hard to believe that people that have had great success and kept these regularly are keeping them at these crazy high temperatures. Like, it's too hard to maintain, like, consistently. Frankly.
Window Liquor says, number 5, how's your puppers? Did your pit recover from skin issues? No, the only thing that's ever worked is prednisone, and obviously we can't do that long term. But I do think slowly but surely we're making progress with turmeric and stinging nettles extract. So
things definitely help.
He's slowly been getting better, and hopefully that's why, and we continue in that direction. But prednisone is like instant. The moment he takes prednisone, within 5 minutes, he's just a completely different dog. So unfortunately, there's no good prednisone substitutes.
Yeah. Zen and Nancy, Bolivians are the best rams. I've kept many. I've bred them. They're wonderful. They're the spunkiest little things. They're absolutely gorgeous. Everyone should get them. They're great. I always get a Bolivian over any other type of ram. So, Leslie, thank you so much. I have clown loaches and have always heard that they need 80 degrees. Would they be okay at 78? Yes. They're fine. They're fine. Absolutely. And thank you so much. That was very nice.
Yeah, thank you, Leslie. That's very nice.
Absolutely fine at 78. Like, because really, like, unless they're spawning, you're trying to get things to spawn and messing with temperatures, like 78, there's 2 degrees difference. You know what I mean? Like, it's like consistency.
If you really start, like, researching where these fish come from naturally, like, there's cold periods, there's warm periods. It fluctuates there are places where it stays pretty consistent. But that's not the norm.
And consistent means within a couple of degrees, right? Like, consistent isn't at one temperature. It means that it fluctuates minimally and usually stays at this temperature. You're very hard pressed to go find anywhere in nature where it's like, this is the temperature at all times. There's seasonal shifts. Like, we have the gymnogeos that take 6 month drops in temperature because they're from an area where they get 6 month drops in temperature. Like, it just depends a lot on where they come from.
So Mel says, my blue ram spawned several times, and the first time they hatched and cared for their young, I didn't remove them, but they've ate them every single batch after.
Jerks.
I would question, is there something different? Is there different fish in with them? Are they in, like, their own tank? Because if something is stressing them out, then they'll eat their fry. Yeah. And cichlids in general are pretty good parents. So to go backwards, I feel like something is causing them to eat them.
You'll get like our Walliceochromis ate their first spawn, but they had never spawned before. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't know what they were doing, and then after that, they didn't do it again. So it is weird that you've had them. That's odd. They are going the wrong direction. Like, something weird is going on.
Yeah, it sounds like there's something that might be stressing them out, causing them to eat the fry. I'm just guessing.
Regina,
not knowing specifics.
The electric blue Jack Dempseys. I gotta be honest, I'm not a fan of the electric blue. They are really pretty. Of course, the color is striking, but I have never known anybody to successfully keep them past like 6 months. They just die. Like, I know there's people that have, but like, I've known a lot of people that have tried to keep them. I knew a store that someone at the store tried to keep them, and they died within like 6 months to a year every time. I don't know what the deal is, but.
So Mel says it's a pair alone and a heavily planted. So what I would do next time is when they spawn, I would remove the male if you could and see what happens.
Pearl cichlids. Are we talking about Braziliensis, the Geophagus? Is that what you're referencing by pearl cichlid? I think that's a common name, I think, for a couple different cichlids, but I know that the Braziliensis has been called a pearl cichlid. So if that's what you're talking about, yes, I've had them, and they're jerks. They are consistently jerks. They have the whole tank on one side, and they're jerks. If that's what you're referencing. If not, you'd have to tell me what type of pearl cichlid you're talking about. But they're beautiful, the Braziliensis.
I'm just watching the dogs play in the background.
My bet would be 6 months. Yeah, I'll say 6 months.
What's the over under like?
Yeah. I hope longer. I hope you're the person that has it like do really well.
Hey,
pipe down. Josh.
I bid 6 months and 1 day.
Braxton.
That's my bid. 6 months and 1 day.
Oh, you're so annoying. Price is right. Spay and neuter your pets. Thing that helps knowing about where your fish live in the wild, seasonal changes they experience, like monsoon seasons, etc., can help with breeding or just keep it. Yeah, we're not chasing a temperature, we're not chasing a pH. I think that's the worst thing you can do ever. But I think consistency based off of what they naturally would be in makes a lot of sense. Common sense also helps a lot there too. You know what I mean? Like just knowing that if you're off by half a degree or a degree, it's not going to kill your fish, as long as you're not like constantly turning your heater up and down, doing a like heater show for them, trying to chase a temperature. That's going to mess with them more than just keeping them 2 degrees cooler than they're technically supposed to be kept. I'll take a year.
You know, the other thing I think about, and this is going to go way off topic, but for humans to get like a really good sleep cycle, we actually need the temperature to drop at night and then raise back up as we wake up. And I've always wondered, like, are we hurting our fish by keeping them at a constant 78 degrees or whatever your heater is set at?
Because that's not the way it is in nature.
Yeah, I've always wondered. And then when I watched our fish in tubs taking huge swings, like our tubs right now are 80 degrees during the day and down in the 50s at night. And everything out there is just, they don't care. Like
they slow down a little, but like that's normal. That's what happens in real life. That's what happens with a lot of these animals in real life. They slow down a little at night. We all do. Our bodies slow down and regenerate and rest, and that's
things like that just make me wonder, make me think. Things that make you go,
And I do know that if you keep things at certain temperatures, at hot temperatures or hotter temperatures, it, like I said earlier, it speeds up their life cycle. If something lives at a higher temperature constantly, it is burning through its life quicker. That's just how it is with heat. That's what heat does. So to animals like that, it's just part of it.
I have so many shrimp growing up currently, says Branton. I'm shrimp rich. That's shrimp not rich. A bad rich to be.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Ooh, green jades. Nice. Or your favorite or green jade. Yeah, those are pretty. They're just different looking too. I think it's nice to see different colors like that.
Mel says, I feel like breeding Corys is almost too easy. For whatever reason, they breed like crazy for me, and I don't even feel like I try. Hence the bigger tank. I keep finding new babies. Well, I'd be curious which species you have spawned in there.
What are you spawning? I was going to ask just because I'm curious. I'm always curious what people are doing.
And then I'm going to say, well, get some of these that are really hard to spawn and then see if they spawn, because that would be very cool.
There was things like when I never wanted to say I bred electric blue acara. I'm like, my electric blue acara bred themselves. Like, let's be real. I did nothing. I put 2 fish in a tank. But then there's certain things that I did get to, like, I remember getting my Severums, because I always knew a lot of people who kept Severums and couldn't spawn them, but mine did. But they'd eat the frickin' wiggler. It never got past wigglers.
There you go right there. Good point, says Mess. I lived in South America for 15 years, not too far from the Orinoco River.
The best part.
Day is hot and the night is not.
That's what I'm saying is daily these guys go through such a change that it's like, think about it. If you are going anywhere 3 degrees from morning to night is who cares? Like, what does it matter? It doesn't matter. Give them a break, let it get a little cooler for a while. And I've never seen any of our fish be negatively impacted by a little swing in temperature, like slight swings in temperature, or being kept at cooler temps than they're supposedly supposed to be kept at. Makes me mad. I feel like it's like people really scare the hell out of people who don't know better, and we're trying to get people into the hobby and want people to feel confident and learn. And I feel like when you're giving them information like, oh, you got to keep it at this exact temperature, you're terrifying people. And they're probably going to do more harm trying to chase that than if you just said, hey, if you have a slight fluctuation, don't worry about it. It's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. Oh, Rat Cross Studio.
Rat Cross Studio with the
Look at
$5
that.
super chat. Thanks for hosting the community. Great show.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Night. That was very nice of you.
Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well.
What is that? Oh.
Then there's like Stephen P's Corydoras that he can get fry but can't raise them to juveniles. Not all Corys
wild,
are
right?
created equal.
No, they're not. Not any fish.
All right, here we go. Paleotis, easy. Pygmies, easy. Need more
Such
for
a
the
jerk, dude.
That's just.
I
they
know.
are.
I know.
I'm not saying that to be like, oh.
Easy, done it, easy.
CW27 Corys to make a proper group. Need more. Love Corys so much. What should I try next? Hoping the CW27 breed when I get more of them. Oh, what should you try?
I have
next?
I can be no help there, so I'm sorry.
I feel like maybe Virginiae would be a good one.
Oh, those are pretty. I like those.
Those are a nice one.
Oh, buddy.
I don't want to say like my mind is going to ones that have never been bred, just to see if you have the magic Cory water. I'd be curious. Oh, they messed with the green screen. You finally did it. They roughed house and moved the green screen.
Yeah, they did.
But yeah, I mean, if you could find a Virginiae, that would be a good one. Pandas, if you're looking for like one to breed for profit, pandas would be a good one because everyone loves pandas.
Yeah, they are very cute.
And they're supposedly somewhat easy. I have not tried to spawn my pandas yet, although I need to.
But they are doing well. I will say they do look nice.
Steven says, I think I finally got them to juvenile stage where they won't die of starvation.
Oh, is that the issue? Is they weren't getting enough to eat?
You know what another good one would be? Like Brocus splendens.
Oh, yeah. I
think those are a beautiful one that not a lot of people breed. A
here?
Dolphoi. Similis. I wouldn't say the
There's
Similis. Like, yeah, Mitchell. There's only one breeding
don't
report
worry.
on Brevirostris. Brevirostris that I know of. Yeah, I didn't think that was a very common one. So if you can get those ones going, you would be you'd be somewhat famous.
Yeah.
But there's so many out there. I mean, so many.
If you got a jungle, I feel like finding fry of any type is quite possible. You're like, hey, look, there's one. I feel like every single tank we have is a freaking, what's it called? One of those stupid sunrise, sunset, platy whatevers in every tank we have. I don't know how these fry keep getting in there.
Yeah, the Hawaiian
Variatus sunset.
platies. Hey guys, go sit down.
They're everywhere. Like they just, I don't even understand it. It makes no sense. They just end up in tanks. There they are.
Actually, another really good one I think you should try just because I think it needs to be in the hobby more is Melani. Corydoras and Melani.
I can't recall what those look like.
I got a group of those that did not get shipped well, not by the shipper's fault. It was the post office shipping them to the wrong address. So they didn't do well because they were gone. They were MIA. They were addressed to me, but literally got dropped off on the other side of town.
Was this the one? I remember that. That was weird.
Ooh, you got the sun coming down.
Oh,
on you, don't you?
I'm blind right now, but what are you gonna do? Like,
so Corydoras and Melani, try those out. That's my suggestion.
any experience breeding pea puffers? Don't think anyone local to me is breeding them. I have not bred them, but there was, when I lived in Sacramento, there was someone local breeding them, and I always was impressed by that. I never tried though. You ever bred them?
I've never even tried.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had one female. It was so difficult for me to find female pea puffers, and I would sit in a tank and stare at like hundreds of them and pick out the one female. And I only had one do well for me long term, so I had like 4 males and 1 female long term. So that was my best group I could ever muster that had any females at all.
Matt says, my pandas lay eggs on the underside of leaves and leaf litter and in mops. If I put one in the tank, easy for me. Yep.
Oh, 3/4 inch Leo?
Well, it depends on how big they are. So Leo is asking what size dubia roaches for his skinks, but
their mouths are, I think you'd be fine even if they're like, if they're full grown, it's fine. If they're a little smaller, they can still eat them. I actually have fed ours adult dubias before, and they managed to get them down, shockingly.
Matt M, my Corydoras like the underside of Anubias cophifolia, which is my favorite Anubias.
I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. Mitchell said, I say try breeding any species of scleromastics. They're all amazing and even do better at room temp, high 60s, low 70s, back to the heater conversation. That's cool. That's good advice. Of course.
I
Shocking.
would want to maybe try some barbatus out in an outside tub. That could be fun.
I
can't imagine. Yeah, feeding baby
Jesus,
people.
seriously.
I would say we have a 20 long with probably a dozen or 15 pea puffers, and just letting them live in there is the closest I've ever come to spawning. Trying to spawn it. Like, I'm not even trying.
I don't even think there's any females in there because I've stared at them so many times. The majority of the puffers, for some reason, I don't know what the pea puffers when you see are male, in my experience, because I know easily how to sex them. It's very easy for me. But I never see females. Like, they just don't. They're always male. Very male heavy. Yeah, Leo, you're after it because I forget where you got them. I can't remember. Oh, it was Reptile Pets Direct, wasn't it? I believe that's where you got them from, Reptile Pets Direct. If I'm not mistaken.
Barbatus would be a good one. Cooler water species. Hey, that's what I just said. All right.
Yes.
Now, if only I could find them at a decent price.
Yeah, well, find anything at a decent price anymore. Good luck to ya.
Well, I mean...
The T-bars will be a decent price.
Scleromastics are just more expensive than Corys in general, so...
Any frogs in the fish room? Phone tried to autocorrect drugs. Yeah,
just tree frogs.
I just found a tree frog in there again yesterday. But no, we don't have any frogs that we keep on purpose right now. Just the ones that get in there and jump out every now and then.
Yes, it's a 20 long, and there are plants in there, always.
We have a lot of shrimp in there, too.
Reptile Pets Direct.
Yeah.
Correct. That is where you got them. That is not an endorsement.
No. Which I'm not to say, who's to say that I'm not saying anything negative.
We'll find out when he gets them.
Yeah, I'm saying that that's just where he got them. And they're a larger operation, so, like... with places like that, with the reptile thing, I have to say, and we were telling Leo about this, it's not like fish where they're cramming down your throat from before you even buy them till the time you open your box. Acclimation instructions. This is what you do if they die. Here's the tracking. Make sure you're waiting for them. With reptiles, in a lot of cases, especially bigger companies, they're not even going to say anything to you.
They're like, we shipped those out 3 days ago.
You're going to get a tracking number randomly that you weren't prepared for that's going to then say, your animals are coming tomorrow. And they're not saying anything to you. Like, so be prepared. That is part of the reptile world. And that won't happen with smaller scale breeders. Usually when you're dealing with a small operation, they're very communicative and it's better. But
Leo,
the bigger ones.
Some of your questions, man, just baffle me. Bob and Chelsea, what time is delivery from FedEx? How am I supposed to know what time they're going to deliver?
I guess I lived closer to you, so I'll give you my experience with FedEx. I normally had them before noon, but there were times when they would literally show up at like 3:45, and I'm like, I hate you. Like, I hate you. But normally it was in between 10 and noon for animals.
You know how many times I've had the 10 a.m. delivery and they come at like 5 at night?
That's happened several times here, actually, with fish. So it's annoying.
If you're looking for Scleromastics barbatus, send them. Ooh, I will.
Ooh.
I will.
Ooh. Oh.
They are based in San Antonio.
We should send Manny to check them out. Yeah, really. Like she needs to do anything else. Like, jeez.
Doesn't she do enough?
Can you go drive and check these out for us and make sure they're
like
up
hours
to snuff?
Away.
Thanks. Texas is just this big.
I don't know how far away San Antonio is from Houston.
I'm
I have
not
no
sure.
idea.
I think it's significant. I'm pretty sure. Like far.
Yeah, at least 10 minutes.
Well, much more than that. Texas is freaking huge, man. That's one of the, it's like California where people are like, do you know where San Diego is? I'm like, yeah, I'm in Northern California. It's like 7-8 hours away. I can't like pop over to San Diego. Jesus. Like, it's not the way that works. California's huge. So is Texas. Actually, I'm ready for a road trip. My kids are a lot. I could use a break. You and every other person I know with children says the same thing.
You didn't road trip to Dallas for the Aquashella?
Oh, it's a 3-hour drive. That's not terrible.
I almost said the aquatic experience, which I wish would come back because
better.
I don't know. It's just Aquashella is just the same every single time.
I get real bored of stuff like that.
The aquatic experience is the same every single time, but it's different than Aquashella.
Oh, okay.
So it's just something different.
And like that's nice.
If the aquatic experience was still going, I'd be like, oh, it's the same every time. And the aquatic experience is more like a trade show, whereas Aquashella is like for the people.
Okay, that makes sense. And T-bar pricing, very inexpensive, probably around $10. Really cheap.
We have no idea.
They should be. I mean, for sale, I've never seen them more than $9.99. That's ever in years. So I would be surprised if they were, let's just say no more than $20. I'd be shocked. I'd die of shock.
Our FedEx guy said they get paid by the day, not the hour, so they try to get done as fast as possible. So that's why they're just throwing packages as they drive by.
Tight. Love that. That seems nice. I will say that the FedEx in my area in Sacramento, if you held your animals for pickup, I trusted that they were very much aware of live animals and said, we go out of our way to pull them first, to put them in here to make sure they're okay. We like to follow up on them. So I know the people that work at that one specifically are really concerned, but that I can't say anything about FedEx on the whole. Like, I have no idea. They suck, just like any other delivery service.
Have I ever kept Pygmy sunfish? Yes, I have some right now. What was your experience? I cannot remember the species I have right now, but I've also kept Okefenokee Pygmy sunfish, and I've had nothing but great experiences. The ones I have now are in a 20 long with some Aspidoris, and they've been spawning. I've had them for over a year now, and I started with a pair, and now there's at least 6 in there, so it's not like amazing spawns, but I'm also not trying to spawn them. I just leave them in there and let them. And I've only seen like 6. There could be like 20 in there, and I would have no idea. There could probably be like 50, and I would have no idea, just because of the amount of dwarf chainsword is in there. It's really hard to know really what's going on in there, but.
Oh, Regina, that's good to hear your beardie's doing well. What morph do you have? Just out of curiosity. I had a 0, and I really liked it.
But I will say, they've been an easy fish to keep. I keep them in unheated aquariums. I've had them even in tanks in the high 60s without any problems. Obviously not long term at that low, but.
I got Manfred Mann playing in my head right now, guys.
Mel says, I feel like a vast majority of my packages get Ace Ventured. Yeah. You ever see, like, pictures of a back of a UPS truck when all the packages are just, like,
God.
I mean, they look like they're just tossed in there, like,
well, I've said it.
Baggage claim workers, they're just throwing your bags around.
I said it multiple times that when I had a package for fish, generally they are longer than they are tall. The width is more than the height. And one time I had a very long, like it should have just sat hot dog, not hamburger, not hot dog, or whichever one it is. I guess it's hot dog. Dude takes it, sits it on its side so it's like wobbling and about to fall over. And I was like, it says live fish all over it. It literally has arrows pointing which direction it's supposed to be. And he went out of his way to balance it on the side so the fish are all like flopping around. I was so pissed. I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, why do you hate animals?
Fisher Maybe Q says, Aquashella got rid of the glow art section this year. I was a little disappointed. Yeah, because there's no one there doing the work. I mean, I'm just speculating here, but I was a little disappointed with Aquashella this year. Mostly African cichlids and corals. That's it, and it is
boring.
It is. It's the Florida farms coming and setting up booths,
Why
and a lot
of
them are African cichlids.
How does that interest people? How does that draw that many people that they go, we're gonna keep doing this? We're just gonna do. Like, I don't get that. That's so weird. Oh, hypotranslucent rainbow tiger, a mouthful. No, I know mine had a bunch. She was het, 66% het for something. I don't even remember, but whatever. But yeah, black eyes, beautiful colors and patterns. So that sounds pretty. Mine was part trans also. Like, she was really pretty. She looked basically white.
Which is better, Dan's or the West Spot?
Oh, that's a question. They're different.
I have only tried Dan's and was wowed for sure. Well, there's definitely something about getting a box of fish that are individually packed. I don't think that can be beat.
No.
And not only are they individually bagged, they're individually double bagged.
Yes.
So I mean, I feel like that's top tier. So if I had to do it, Dan's, the Wet Spot, and then you kind of like drop a little bit to the next person.
I will point out that the size of the operation isn't really comparable. Like, Dan's is a much smaller operation than the Wet Spot.
Yeah, I'd be curious how that would scale.
Right,
and I'm sure Dan's thought about it. I'm sure he's run numbers on all of this stuff.
Right.
Like, can you scale to that size? Because the Wet Spot is like, what, 6 or 7 times larger?
Correct.
So
it's
like
much larger.
Single bagging fish. And even when I was selling fish, I didn't single bag fish. And then I was like, well, if Dan does it, I can do it. And I started doing it, and I was like, this is the worst.
It's a lot of work. It's
twice
the work.
So much time.
It's I will give it to Dan because I see the filtration system and just the attention to detail.
The filtration is just ridiculous.
The attention to detail is huge, but I have to say that it's hard comparing an operation the size of the wet spot to something like Dan's, because you have the ability to have more attention to detail when you have I think it's inherent, but I also know how much effort he puts into it. Like it's something that matters to him. Not to say that it doesn't matter to the wet spot. I still think they put a lot of effort into it as well. They're just running a very large operation that moves a high volume of fish. And they're not only are they retail, they're wholesale, they're retail, there's so many things. You know what I mean? Like they have multiple outlets. So they're very different. I don't know. Yeah, zeros are awesome. I love them.
Aquashella seems like a trade show to me. Not interested at all. It's less of a trade show than the aquatic experience, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely like vendors. The thing that I don't understand is like vendors going and setting up booths, but then you can't buy anything. Like
I hate that.
Fluval having a booth, but I can't buy anything because you just have show tanks.
Here's
and
a pamphlet. like cool, thanks for this literature. I'll take your marketing collateral.
So I had to pay $100 to get in here, and then I can't even buy anything.
That's so lame. Okay, and I just saw Mitchell mention pupfish. That's super cool. That's very cool.
What?
Worth it. He said he got some rare pupfish, which is really cool. Always worth it when you can. It's worth it to me if you can get one thing like that. Like, fine, worth it. Worth it. I went to the lamest little reptile show in Lodi, and I remember that's where I got my Aresis walkeneri, which is a ladybird
right
spider.
there.
For nothing, and I was so excited. It made it all worth it.
Dan in the reflection. Sid says, wait, when did you get Okefenokee? Does Randy know? So I had Okefenokee Pygmy sunfish before I went on his podcast, like years before that. And that's what got us into that conversation to start with. But he actually paid and bought some, if you remember from that podcast, and they actually never shipped them ever. And last I heard, he has not got his money back yet. So, of course, that was years ago, so who knows by now.
Cyprinodon longidorsalis, and Cyphidon alvarezi. Nice. Super unique. Yeah, really, though. Like, that's a cool thing to have. I love stuff like that. Hi, buddy.
Tracy says, I really enjoyed Aquashella. I already set up. So, don't get me wrong. Aquashella is cool if, like, you've never been or if you've been to, like, one. But from like my side of it, where you've been to like 100 of these shows, it's just, it's thousands of dollars, airfare, hotel, and for what? To see African cichlids and corals.
No, thank you.
As much as I love hanging out and seeing everyone, it's just a lot of money just to hang out,
Leo, mediums, yeah. If you got the large, what I would recommend doing is if you feed with tongs, which you should with superworms, I would crush the head as you're giving it. Like, I know that sounds so mean, but like with larger superworms, they can be bad chewers. And sometimes if your animal is like getting it from the end and not the head, they will flip around and start biting your animal. And they'll bite you. So I would just make sure that you either crush the head a little bit and then hand it to them with the tongs, or the mediums should be fine. I don't think that would be an issue, but the big ones, they're kind of strong. So sounds pretty brutal, but it's necessary.
All right, I'm going to hit these last two comments and then we are done. First one, does Dan also single bag schooling fish? Sorry if that is a dumb question.
That's not a dumb question.
To my knowledge, yes, I have bought many schooling fish from him.
Yeah.
And it's almost annoying that they're single bag.
But not, but yes, but they are.
No, it is. Like unbagging
like one tiny fish.
All of like, I just bought 20 lemon tetras. They're in 20 bags, and it's like
they're tiny bags.
It's annoying in a good way. Like, obviously, I'm being sarcastic.
They're not in like huge bags. They're like in
they're
these
very
little
small
cells
bags.
Almost. Like they're perfect size.
And then Alec brings up a really good point that says Wet Spot seems to have upped its game a good bit in the last couple of years, and I wholeheartedly agree.
That's true, and I've bought for them for a long time. Yeah,
they have
true.
Their core group right now is really, what am I trying to say here? So obviously they have turnover, but they have like their core group, and they're really good. They're really knowledgeable.
Good. Like,
and they're really focused on customer service. And because I won't promote a company that has terrible customer service. Like, they could give me like 50% commission, and I don't even care.
Most of the people we're referencing keep fish. They're fish keepers. They're people who love fish and care about the fish and are invested in what they're doing. So it's a big deal, especially when animals are involved.
There you go. Stephen P says, I ordered 80 Nano fish from Dan once, 80 bags.
I love that.
I'm just wondering,
amazing.
like, when is he gonna get the people that are like,
goodness,
you're killing the environment with all that plastic?
I
bags.
don't even want to hear it.
Ugh,
Go away.
those-
Everyone's always gonna have something to say, so calm down. Like, oh Jesus.
I'm confident to know that if you ordered from Dan, if you order from the wet spot, you're gonna get a good quality fish, and if something does happen, you're gonna get taken care of.
Yeah.
So that's
way.
pretty much all I care about. You know, some of these companies you order from, and like you've ordered from some companies, you've gotten the wrong fish, you email them, and have never even gotten a response.
Crickets. So yeah. I appreciate customer service wholeheartedly.
So it's important, and I don't know. I've been in customer-facing jobs almost my whole life, so it's very important to me as well. So I know that if something goes wrong, you're gonna get taken care of, and that's what's important to me.
And on that, pipe down. That's enough. And on that note,
it is dinner time. We are hungry. The dogs are
God.
obviously riled up,
They're
so
losing their minds.
take them outside and run them around for a bit.
God.
Thanks everyone who came. This was a really fun stream. I hope you guys had fun. Thanks to all the mods, all the lurkers.
Thanks, y'all.
All the people that watch afterwards, the super chatters, the new members. Don't forget, next Monday, 3:30 p.m. PST is the member stream every week. And
yeah,
that's all I got.
That's it. Later.
Yeah.
Bye.
I guess that's it.
Have a good week, everybody.
Regina says, Bob, that happened to me with Rockland Aquarium in New York. Yep.
Write that down, everybody.
Stay away.
All right, guys. Bye.
Goodbye.